Good morning, Ji.
Hi,
Very good morning.
Good morning.
Kavita Ji and
Hi.
Kanishka Sarkar Ji and Rajesh Agarwal Ji. Very good morning. I am holding BSE shares 190 numbers at 2810.
Okay.
And
Okay.
CDSL 18 shares at 1880.
Okay.
At what price can I average it? Please kindly guide, please. I am in loss.
Sure. You want to know the average level, and you plan to hold it for some time now?
Yes, I will hold. I can hold up to 1 year.
1 year. All right. Let's get you the recommendation and the strategy. Rajesh, BSE and CDSL 2890 is BSE and CDSL is 1880.
Good morning, Kavita. Good morning, Kanishka. Good morning, Mr. Vedi. As far as CDSL and BSE are concerned, both have been our buy calls from since very long period of time. As far as I remember, BSE we have been giving bonus buy at 500 odd rupees. That's basically 150 odd rupees. It's already a 20 baggers. But still, we are very bullish on that based on the fact that the numbers have been pretty good in the last 2-3 quarters. And they have been gaining market share in FNO. Strong balance sheet, the holdings in CDSL. So everything is in their favor. And the best part is the only listed equity stock exchange at this point of time. So we are very bullish on BSE for these reasons. As far as CDSL is concerned, one of the largest depository in India. And with insurance also coming into depository, I think the business is going to go up. And not to forget the kind of new IPOs coming in the second half of next 6 months of this coming year. I think there are a huge lineup of IPOs coming in. So not only demat fees, but the listing fees and the corporate actions fees all are coming into it. So both are fundamentally very strong stock for holding for a long period of time. And as far as the question of averaging is concerned, I would suggest that unless there is a gap of 10-15% from your buy price, no point in averaging because there won't be any average as such. So if you are looking for a long-term horizon, wait for some correction to enter, or you can add at these levels too. We are very bullish on this. BSE, in the short term, it can move up to 3,000 odd levels. So when it crosses its 52-week high, that's all-time high. Then newer highs may be there. So one can add.
Okay, so you could look at adding more. That's the fundamental and long-term view coming in on BSE and CDSL. But we also have Aditya Agarwala, the head of research and investments from Invest for Edu, joining us. Hi, Aditya, for joining us today. And on the back of technicals, also we'll want a view here on BSE and CDSL. The viewer has 190 shares of BSE at a price of 2890 and about 90 shares of CDSL at a price of 1880. While Rajesh has already shared the fundamental view with us, what is your technical view? Any short-term targets that we could look at? The viewer has been sitting with some bit of loss. So what are your suggestions as far as the technical charts are concerned?
Good morning. Thanks for having the show. Let's talk about BSE first, and I concur with Rajesh's view that this is one of the only listed exchanges for equity in the markets currently. And we have seen the kind of up move that the stock has posted. Recent correction, if anything, provides an excellent opportunity to add more into the stock if one wants to add. The viewer is also looking to average the stock. So BSE still continues to look extremely bullish to me on the chart setup. We have a target of 3,000 plus. On the stock, the first target is 3,000. Once it crosses 3,000, the next target is 3,200 on BSE. So the viewer can actually go ahead and average BSE at current levels, place a stop loss somewhere around 2,600 on the downside and look for a target of between 3,000 to 3,200 from a medium to slightly longer term time frame if he has a view of 1 year and maybe slightly beyond that. Talking of CDSL, this too looks interesting after a correction. Stock entered into a sideways consolidation and now offers an excellent risk to reward again at current level. So can look at continue to holding on to the stock for a target of 1850 on the upside as far as CDSL is concerned. As far as averaging out is concerned, can consider doing that given the correction has already played out in CDSL and from here stock can see higher levels. So can look at averaging with a stop loss on the downside closer to about 1400 and look for a target of 1850 on the upside.
that's a take on BSE and CDSL from both our experts. All the best, Satya. But then let's move on. And this question is from Mr. Balaji from Chennai, and BLS International. He bought almost at 365. He wants to know if it's the time to hold or maybe book some loss. He wants to be in this for a year almost. Rajesh, any specific recommendation and the timeline? Maybe if you want to comment on that.
This is one of the largest visa processing company in the country and doing very well. But last 1 or 2 quarters, the numbers have been not that good, and there have been negative news flows concerning this company. At this point of time, I won't recommend adding to it. But one can continue to hold for maybe a target of 350, 360 odd rupees in the next 2 quarters. Or if by any chance it falls to 290, 300 odd levels, there at those levels one can even add.
So we want BLS International, but let's move on and get another stock query answered. So now this one is coming from Bharatwaj, writing from Coimbatore. He wants to know whether he can buy CG Power at the current price. He's looking for a long-term investment, Rajesh, of about 3 to 4 years. And if not CG Power, he is looking at something in the semiconductor space. So any other picks that you would like to suggest?
Basically, very few companies in the semiconductor space. One of them is CG Power, the other one is Keynes. Then there is Tube Investment doing something into semiconductor space too. So I think it's better to go for either CG Power or Tube Investment for a long-term horizon. But at this point of time, I think both are fully valued for. So nothing much can be expected in the short term. Of course, if the market helps, that's another point. But fundamentally, I think they are fairly valued. Wait for some correction to enter in CG Power or a Tube Investment.
The time frame that you mentioned, CG Power, Tube Investment, are the recommendation from Rajesh. Aditya, this question is on JSW Holdings. This is Mr. Ravi Raji, and he wants to know if he can hold it for more 6 months. He is holding 100 odd quantity.
Morning, Kavita. Definitely, I think so. He can continue to hold on to the share. Like I mentioned, stock formed a double bottom recently, and from there it's bouncing off. So on the downside, immediate supports are closer to about 19,600, 19,700. On the upside, the immediate targets are 22,500. So the first target that I'm playing for is 22,400. Once that is taken out, stock can test levels of 24,000 as well on the upside. So continue to hold, place a stop loss just below 20,000, maybe closer to about 19,500, 600. And on the upside, look for a target of 22,500 and then 24,000. The momentum hasn't started off yet in the stock, but soon I think stock will see much higher levels from currently zone.
Okay, so that's the view on JSW Holdings. But let's move on and have another query answered. A Kambaria from Hyderabad has written to us. They've been holding 50 shares of PNB Housing. Their stock price, holding price is 782 rupees. Aditya, they want to know whether they should hold or book their profits. And if they do book their profits, they're looking to make an investment in BEL or HAL, defense names. What would you suggest? What is the strategy that they should adopt?
So it's a completely different sector that they are looking to switch to, migrate to. If you're looking to switch from a PNB Housing Finance maybe to a defense, yes, it makes sense because we've seen defense underperform for some time now, and cyclical trends do suggest that just before budget, these sectors tend to outperform, defense being one of them. And because of its own problems, we have seen PNB Housing Finance see that kind of sharp correction, and now it has recovered some bit. But my sense is if they're looking to switch from PNB Housing Finance to a defense name, definitely one should go ahead and do that. HAL is a good stock to look at current levels. After a bit of a correction and a cool off, the risk to reward is in favor of going long in HAL at current levels. So one can definitely look at initiating a fresh long trade here. Place a stop loss somewhere around 4,200 on the downside and for a target of 4,800 on the upside. So 4,800 target, 4,200 stop loss can make a switch from PNB to an HAL.
All right, a switch recommended to HL. But then let's move on. And Rajesh, this is a question from our viewer Ignatius, and he's from Kolkata. He bought 70 stocks of CAMS at 758, and he can hold it for almost 2 years.
Continue to hold, I would say, and if by any chance it falls from a CMP around 5-7%, one can even add. Company is doing very well, one of the biggest R&D in the country. mutual fund business as such is doing well. We have seen SIPs increasing month on month, and that's a good sign for companies like CAMS or KFintech of these sorts. So it's a hold from a side at this point of time. At around 720, 730 odd levels, one can even add.